going 4 wide down into the hairpin and turn 1. Oh, we've got one of the Fishy Motorsports boys off out there. Was that Brett Warby by the look of that? We've got Jimmy Dalton here up into 3rd place with a great start. He's slotted himself up 2 spots and a beautiful, beautiful start from him. Adam Hughes behind him also up 2 spots. Stefan, absolute brilliant start. I'm not sure who, did you catch who that was from the Fishy Motorsports boys?
I didn't, but I did see that Harry Dodds has just had a spin in the background along with Jake Edwards there going through the S's, and Chris Island bogged down from the start again, same as last week. Unfortunately, there wasn't any crashes this week. It did look like it might have been Warby, as they all seem to be going around a bit. Yeah.
Peter Baxter's just left pit lane by the look of it in the, just about to leave pit lane in the safety car there by the look of it, guys.
It does look, yeah. I do believe we're under yellow here because all those guys did back up and back off there and not pass. Sorry, Braden Martin there while he was spun out, but it looked like, yeah, I could be wrong, but it looked like Chris Island had a bit of a bad start there again, and then Greg Barber overshot turn 1, something massive, which stacked up the pack a little bit and caused a bit of a melee and sort of just went on from there.
Yeah, so it was Michael Whiting on turn 1 on that hairpin. It was Michael Whiting that first went off, which I think started the chain reaction.
So the blue car on the inside is the one that's going to overshoot.
That's Greg Barber.
Greg Barber shoot the gap, which has sort of blocked everyone else up. We've got Dalton there who's made contact. It's yeah, so that with Greg going off there, it sort of just bottled them all up, and then from there the melee continues.
Yeah, because by that point everyone was trying to avoid it, weren't they? I think it put Michael Whiting off enough that he was kind of, he had nowhere to go. Instead of spinning, I think he just kind of went off to avoid it from locking up, right?
Yeah, and then I saw Harry Dodds having a moment here through the S's as well as the 4 wide going into that. That explains that.
Harry Dodds, yeah.
So it looks like Jake Edwards, Harry Dodds, Michael Whiting, and I think the other fishy car there in the green, Jamie Dyke, just took evasive action and decided to go straight to avoid going 4-way through there. So that's just a simple 4 doesn't fit into that corner at all.
Yeah, exactly right. It was definitely a square peg in a round hole, that was.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think Greg I think he might have got, I think he was a lot of cars to his right-hand side. Do you think he might have missed his braking point, or missed his kind of due to his braking point? Have a look at that.
Definitely, I think he might have been focusing. It could have been Michael who was alongside him and just trying to outbrake Michael a little bit. But Michael probably was on the threshold of his braking as well, as he only just made on his stretch. He would have only just made the corner. So I think he's just tried to outbrake Michael and then looked up and seen that he was absolutely going to clean up Blake Delaney there and decided to try and shoot the gap. So he did a good job of avoiding everyone and not causing someone to, race to end. But very easy to do on, turn 1 when you're trying to fight for positions, especially in a caliber of field like this. It's you got to fight for every position when you can.
Oh, massively. And we had out of that melee, we had 12 cars that got caught up in that melee, guys. So definitely a deserved safety car. So Peter Baxter's back out on track now in that very nice looking McLaren.
It does look like.
Thank you very much for the promo department, legendary. Thank you very much, and race control, legendary legends.
So just looking at the timing tail there, it does look like Jake Edwards has come off worse from having his current P27. Starting, I believe, in P12 or 11, so it looks like he's definitely come off the worst, and same with Harry Dodds and Christopher Island back there in 25th, 26th and 27th, so not the way those boys probably would have wanted to start their race tonight.
So just got a DSL action replay of
Harry in the middle, Michael trying to hold it, and then and then Jake's just sort of an innocent victim in that. Does he avoid the wall? No. You get away with that. There won't be any visit. There's going to
in the wing. That would have done the damage, right? Damn it! Yeah, definitely bent the wing, and we all know. Welcome, 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 everyone, to SLW TV's broadcast of Round 9, the penultimate round for our Porsche GT3 Cup series tonight. Brought to you by our sponsors, DSL Welding Services and the Promo Department. We're coming to you from Detroit, Belle Isle, Grand Prix track tonight. It's going to be on comms tonight is myself, of course, Chef Toddy, and the legendary Scotty Rattlegun.
Here we go. Here we go. That's a setup. You and Shivy, you two, I can't leave you guys alone. You guys will absolutely mess with me if I let you at any available opportunity. And I can't believe I've set you up perfectly for another one.
I think I love it. So you just did a brilliant job of introducing Shivy there on our as our head producer and on our cams tonight. So thank you very much for Stippy as well. What are your thoughts about the track tonight, mate?
Mate, it's got right-hand turns in it. They're things that aren't left turns, and they're completely foreign to me. I have no idea what I'm doing.
Nice. So, how do you think these guys will go on this bit of a bumpy track tonight? It's very, very bumpy through here in the braking zones, down into a lot of these corners, especially down into turn 1. Oh, the whole way through, just as there's three different terrain changes throughout this track.
To be perfectly honest with you, it's a great thing that Lewis Hamilton's never had to race here, because I'm pretty sure the guy would end up locked in the infirmary ward at the end of the day.
With the Zimmer frame.
Yeah, that's it. It'd be walking pain. So this GP definitely not proudly brought to you by the Formula One Committee of the World. So, but it is all about that. I mean, you guys obviously know and understand at this point my love of the IndyCar. Well, IndyCar was here last weekend, and it was one of the bigger things that the drivers did actually complain about was the bumps. It's getting there. It's really, really difficult to drive around. I believe it's actually sadly the last time IndyCar will actually be coming to Detroit, Belle Isle. For the Grand Prix race. So it was a cracker. It's sad to see them go, but it is what it is. On with life. Now, for what these guys are going to be dealing with tonight, the Porsches. I have managed to finally find the time to actually jump back in and race these things. This is my favourite car in iRacing. It's the Porsche GT3 Cup. Generally, pretty much my favourite car all around. So yeah, even though I'm a stock car guy, an oval guy, IndyCar guy, the Porsches always got to stop. Yeah, for anything Porsche. So. Particularly the Porsche Cup series. Look, if this was the 991, they'd be far easier to drive around here. The current update for these cars, they don't like the bumps. They really just don't settle. If you actually keep an eye on, we got the After Dark car on screen at the moment. Keep an eye on just how the car is transitioning around the lap. See how long this thing takes to settle down as he takes this bump here, bump on the entry, bump through the crest. Watch how long it takes for the rear end of the car to settle back down. It's all about throttle control, but it's throttle control at the same time as, man, I just wish this thing had stopped bouncing.
Yes, 100%. And what I did a couple of laps around here as well, and the one thing that really puts you off is those braking zones, and the worst bumps are in the braking zones when you're trying to settle the back of this thing, and it's very unruly, mate.
Yeah, so normally you'd be wanting to use a little bit more of the engine braking, downshift a little bit earlier. Tonight, there'll be a lot less of that. It wouldn't surprise me to see, normally you're running a braking bias in the Porsche Cup cars of somewhere in the realm of 45% front bias, so that's 55% rear bias, 5% heavily rear biased. For around here, I'd be pushing that further forward because I know if I lock a front, I can save that. If I lock a rear, it's over with the level of bumps that are around here. So probably a few guys, you might see a few more locked fronts than you do normally, but that's probably to be expected tonight.
So from an insider's point of view, what sort of percentage would that be for the front end for the Porsches, just for future reference for myself and other friends?
So normally the fixed setups for these things, the way that they start out is generally in the realm of 46 to 44%, somewhere in that 2% of a range. They really like to be in about 45%. Road Atlanta was where I was running last week. I was running a 44.5 brake bias. It was very, very comfortable. The car was turning in really nicely there. We're looking to carry the brake all the way through, and more rearward bias is going to help that with the rear engine style of car that Porsche is. So, but that's 55%. So 54 to 56% front bias, or rear bias, or 44 to 46%.
That's because you want that downshift
bias
rotation, but you want to be able to limit the downshift rotation around here. It's actually right. So
you're moving it
so what? Are
fractionally
you going
further
for
forward.
more like, you know, are you going to like 43%? Are you going below 40%?
No,
or?
you're going forward. You're going forward on the brake bias. You're looking to be
Yeah, that's
far
what I mean on the
more.
forward. Yeah.
Yeah, you're looking to be far more up and around,
Oh, yeah.
say, really, you're looking at 45 would be your starting marker, so 46 would be where I'd start. I'd go, how comfortable am I on the brakes there? How deep into the corner is going to really push this? If I want to attack, am I overheating
how
rear
confident
tires?
does the car
How
feel,
confident?
make you feel?
Yeah, because it's going to be about long runs tonight and looking after the car. I'm looking to set myself up. The level of overtaking around here is so difficult to get an overtake done. You're probably looking for a bump and run is really your best opportunity to get an overtake done, which sounds bad, but it's so tough to race. If somebody's going to overtake, it's got to be both drivers are going to be committed to getting that overtake done.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. We did see with the Radicals on Tuesday night, people gave each other a bit of room. But we did see quite a few safety cars that night as well. So expect a few, I suspect, tonight, I think, possibly, just because of the bumps and how twisty these cars can get.
I think one of the last times we actually raced these, I remember the season that I won, we ended up going to Chicago Street Circuit just after it had come out. Fictional circuit, doesn't actually exist in real life, and iRacing was used as a testing platform because they were trying to talk to the city of Chicago about actually hosting a NASCAR race within the city. So they designed the track using iRacing. One of the things that actually occurred there in both of the races, because we had a 20-minute and a 40-minute race, was we had track blocked on both races, forcing a safety car. There was just nothing we could have done, had to have a safety car, because by halfway through the first lap, you had 2 or 3 cars at the front that were 40 seconds clear of the rest of the field because they were all waiting for the pylon. So that'll be something that's relevant tonight here as well.
Yeah, 100%. And I think that's what we saw on Tuesday night as well. Without those safety cars bunching up the field, you see these guys kind of be able to build up a bit of a gap between each other pretty quickly. We've got somebody off on the outside there, on the left-hand side there. That looked like Nathan Gore. That looks like Nathan Gore on the outside there. He's having a bit of a moment on the wall. Maybe he's just stopped off the racing line just to make sure he just wasn't in people's way.
I mean, that's what it's about. Dean Sinkovich, I think you just saw. That's Greg Leake on the shot that he's just gone through. So basically a whole bunch of guys. I'm just sort of keeping half an eye on my track map. It's about setting up for your clean lap, because you know if Dean will be very, very aware that he's not as quick as the faster guys. So he's just trying to go, okay, when can I set my lap? So he's backed himself up a little bit here. He's set one clean lap, so at least got himself in qualifying. Doesn't want to get in the way of Michael Whiting. Wants to let Whitey go for his lap, let him go off and do his own thing. So very, very head smart driving, and he's trying to make friends tonight as well. Because if there are people that are going to treat him better, maybe be a little bit more patient when they come up to lap him, that works in Dean's favour as well.
And we've got a very exciting race from results from last week, mate. So Ben Siren, our leader of our AM series, he actually won the race last week. Ahead of the two Fishy boys. So Blake Delaney and Michael Whiting, they had a bit of a moment and they had a bit of a coming together on the very last corner at Watkins Glen. And they'd kind of touched each other, got wheel on wheel, and spun each other. They kind of spun each other out a little bit, and Michael Whiting had kind of gone off, but he spun himself and almost pit maneuvered himself back into the pits, and Ben Siren got the win. So Michael Whiting and definitely Blake Delaney and Michael Whiting, the Fishy boys tonight, are going to be definitely on a massive push to try and bring back some points and get back and clamber back some points and clamber back a bit more. What would be the word? I
would just say, to be perfectly honest with you, Detroit Belle Isle's the wrong place to be doing that.
Yeah, true.
When I come here, I'm just looking for a clean, consistent race. I really don't care too much about the finishing position, because ultimately that's, or I'm not looking too far out down the road, because first and foremost, I've got to get myself alive in this race. If I'm not alive in this race, by the end of lap 1, it's probably night over. If I have a spin on lap 1 and then there's immediately a safety car, that's still night over, because the field is so hard to fight your way through. You're going to have guys that are definitely going to let you through. at specific corners, or if they see any sort of overlaps. And yeah, look, there will be some guys to be able to make it past, but if you have a spin, forget that. It's all about surviving lap 1, then surviving lap 2. Then I've got a little bit of speed here in my tires. Now I'm starting to read the competition around. Am I faster coming off the corner onto the back straight? Am I faster through the final sector? Can I potentially shove a nose up the inside going down into turn number 1? Where am I building my run? Tonight it's all about reading the competition. If you think that you are only fractionally faster in the couple of small overtaking zones that we have, I'm just following the guy who had the whole race. Forget it. I'll just take that. That's a win for me.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. 100%, yeah, and it is. It's going to be very much about consistency tonight and keeping calm. And we saw a lot of those guys that on Tuesday with the Radicals. It was just very much about being keeping calm and keeping themselves calm and making sure they didn't make silly mistakes around here, because it's very easy to make.
I just want to point out, we're 10 minutes into qualifying now, and currently there are still 6 cars that haven't set a lap. That's pretty big. That's a lot of cars that haven't still set a lap, but that also reflects the difficulty of the circuit as well. And for those of you who are sitting at home and go, well, why haven't one of their times been registered? Well, if you're new to the iRacing service, if you're new to the way the sim works, during a qualifying session, lap times are only accepted if they are considered to be a clean lap. If you have a tiny brush with the wall, that's a tiny brush with the wall that's gone to a little bit bigger of a tiny brush of the wall. That would get you an incident point. 1 incident point voids the lap time during qualifying. Why do they do that? Well, they don't want people wall riding. They don't want people exceeding track limits and getting a benefit out of that. During the race, it's pretty easy, pretty clear to see, and there are ways to manage that during the race. During qualifying, those sorts of systems don't really work. So if we just say any time that you accrue an incident point, whether that be a light brush with a wall that doesn't actually net you a point, or a 0x as they're referred to within the iRacing system, that will void the qualifying laps. There's probably a couple cases there with people's laps have been voided. Alternatively, you could have guys that are happy to say, yeah, I think I'll just sit out qualifying. I might just start from the back of the field. I would caution people against doing that, more so because this is a great opportunity to spend some extra time in the setup, spend some extra time just running around getting laps in, and you get a really good feel and an understanding of where you sit within the queue.
Yeah, 100%, I agree. These guys will try and... how strong's the draft around here? You're pretty good at these Porsche Cups.
I mean, the problem is the straights aren't long enough to really set up a draft. It's really the back straight. It's probably worth half a car length at most.
Really?
And well, the issue is, you've got to remember with the accordion effect and the way that the cars come off the corners, the lead car can get to the throttle that half a car length, 3/4 of a car length earlier. So by the time you overcome that, you're 3/4 of a straight down, and it's too late to really make any benefit of it. And the braking zones are so narrow. That's the real kicker, is that where all of the opportunities to actually make the overtakes are, the cars need to use the entirety of the track. So if we're actually sitting on board where we're sitting on board with Corey McFarlane here, so we're setting up, this is probably where you need to set up your pass. Get all the way out here, get the car turned in, get back to the throttle early. But you're trying to miss that wall on the outside. You're trying to miss the wall on the inside, on the entry to the corner. Now you're sitting there on the throttle, you weave all the way to the right, now you got to cut back to the left. Look how late he comes back to the left. He's trying to keep the car straight during the braking. So you're using all of the track during your braking zone, which means that and that's not a defensive move.
And under all those bumps as well. Wow.
Yeah. So that's just the racing line. So the problem is, if you're going to get that move done, you need to be alongside the guys so that he can't use all the track. Then your braking zone's compromised. Then you've got to set yourself up to get through that corner too wide. And if you look at that corner at the end of the back stretch, there's a left-hander immediately after it. So if you're on the inside for the right-hander and trying to get the move done there, you're immediately back on the outside for 2 left-handed corners. So it's difficult to get the move done. This is the other spot. This one's really, really risky down into turn number 1, because if you're half a meter wide, you're in the fence, because it switches back, or you're going to be a full second slower coming off that the next left-hander. Then it's down to the braking zone at turn number 3. Turn number 3 is probably your best bet to actually get a move done, just because it's the straightest braking zone. It's the easiest one to get down the inside. And it's followed by another right-hander. So it's thinking about where you're going to do it and making sure, if I'm setting up a move, I'm probably going to spend 3 to 5 laps trying to set that move up and making sure I'm in the right spot at the right time. How am I going to get to this guy's rear bumper coming off of turn 2 so that I'm far enough up the inside to get the move done at turn 3?
Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah, because it seems like a very wide track, but there's a lot
No,
of
it's
brick
not.
walls, and there's a
No.
lot of places not to. Yeah.
Mate, give us Adelaide Street Circuit. That place
Oh
is
yeah, true.
that place you can
That's a
fit what
jungle.
6 cars wide down the back.
It does remind me a lot of this. This place actually reminds me a lot of Adelaide Street Circuit, actually.
I feel more
Couple
like
of turns.
Canberra. I love
Yeah,
that
true.
Canberra Street
Yeah,
Circuit.
true.
That was a great
Yeah,
place.
true. That was awesome, actually.
Throwing
Yeah,
back
with
to
the lakes and yeah, true. Actually, more like Canberra.
that was probably my favorite track on the original V8 Supercars games. Now that is a big throwback in terms of sim racing. That was like the original stuff. That was
amazing, wasn't it? That was.
I mean, Chef Toddy, we're here, so can I get a chef's kiss for the original V8 Supercars games?
Oh, mate, absolutely amazing. I love the original. I'm a bit of an old bastard, so those original games are so awesome, man. They were the first games that really started to nail physics. They really were. The first games that really start to nail physics and just go like, oh, actually, let's just not make one thing go hard right, hard left, hard right, hard left, and then try and manage braking and everything in between it. It's the first kind of game that was that, actually, let's bring in the actual bit of real life and all that realism into it. And, it was a kind of first step to awesomeness, I thought.
I was there for the career mode and the development. Like, you couldn't just jump in the V8 Supercars and go straight away. You had to, first to get there, you had to start off at an MX-5, and then you had to move along, so...
That's cool. That's cool. To prove your worthiness.
Yeah, I mean, but that's the development that these guys go through. I mean, and that's kind of what I like about the iRacing platform. If you have a look at the other platforms that are out there, you've got, your Assetto Courses, your Formula Ones, they don't have an entry-level series. It's just jump in the big cars and go. So, another big wall strike there. Is that Steven Sinkovic?
Steven Sinkovic, yeah. Big wall strike there from Steven Sinkovic. From an SRW TV car. Big shout out to SRW TV.
At this rate, we're going to need some in-house panel beaters, I think. So if you're a panel beater and you're thinking about getting in contact with us, Steven Sinkovic will definitely have use of your services tonight.
Oh, yeah, Harry does. Does he clip the wall there, or does he just let everyone go past?
Just set himself up. So it's tyre temperature. So these cars are actually very much like the NASCAR, but the NASCARs are more extreme. These cars are very heavily respondent to tyre temperatures. So you'll actually see their lap times. Their quickest lap is lap 2 or lap 3 of the stint, and then they sort of fall about a quarter of a second at some tracks. This will be one of those tracks. A quarter of a second to maybe half a second, 3/4 of a second, sort of off, and that's because the tyres have just gone over the hill in terms of their peak or the preferred operating temperature. And then if you can sort of cool those tyres off for a lap, so that's what Dodzy was doing there. He was just looking to take a little bit of a break. He might have had a little bit of a moment, was already down 2 or 3 tenths on the lap, said, all right, this lap's not going to improve. No worries, I'll back it up, I'll cool the tyres off, we'll go again next lap.
And and especially with Belle Isle having 3 different, essentially, track, they've got polished concrete, and asphalt, essentially, or tarmac, essentially. Keeping the heat in these tyres, does it make it more challenging with having different track surfaces as well? A lot more challenging with these cars, or is it just something you just kind of come to just manage as it just comes with the track?
I mean, it definitely depends. There's not a lot of street circuits, there's not a lot of circuit racing that is actually on that asphalt surface. So it obviously does offer that uniqueness here with Detroit Belle Isle. But I mean, it's not something that I've ever really noticed. Yeah, definitely. But then again, if I ever see a race at Detroit Belle Isle, I'll be the first guy to say, yeah, look, I'll probably come back next week when you're not here.
Yeah, I got what you mean.
So they tend to be chaos. I'm expecting chaos tonight. Shibby, you're sitting in the background. You've got NASCAR knowledge now. I've at least encouraged you to settle in on the good old left-hand turning stuff. Are you expecting a little bit of a NASCAR-esque race? Few cars getting field golded sent to the moon? My first ever run-in with actually with Greg Leake was when he blocked the track actually at Chicago, that Chicago street circuit. And, that triggered a few words exchanged between the two of us, but we're all friends these days, so that's all that counts. Well, okay, so for those of you that are at home, Nathan Howard is in the background, and I think he should actually unmute himself and have a bit of a chat.
Yeah, I agree. Nah, he's not having a bar of it.
See, this is what happens, Nathan, when you let me into the broadcast booth on other nights. You've got to deal with me then. You've got to deal with me trying to talk to you.
So we just got Blake Delaney out there in first with Corey McFarlane. But Corey McFarlane, our winner from last night's F3 race, he's currently in second there. Michael Whiting just having, as we just seen his spin off track there a little bit, having a bit of a rough time trying to push it as hard as he can. Trying to get into the low 29s to meet the other two boys. So we'll see how these guys can actually push. They've got a couple of minutes to go, but lots of speed in their tires, etc. So
one of the quirks actually of
oh, wow!
Don't do that in front of the field, holy!
Wow, I like that. Just back up the track. Wow, was that showing off, or was just that was a massive catch? Wow.
That's driver skill, mate. That was all intentional. He's 100% for sure. Porsche Cup drift champion on screen right there. Yep. Right. Intentional.
100%. Yep.
But then have a look at how he's immediately responded to the lap. He's backed off a little bit. He's trying to cool those tires down. Why wouldn't he? So one of the benefits that sim racing has over real racing is we can just tow back to the pits immediately and go again. We can just immediately reset. We don't have to worry about driving the thing back to the pits. Then we've got to repair it. Then you've got to change the tyres if you want a fresh set of tyres. Well, for Porsche Cup drivers, they won't even bother with a fresh set of tyres for qualifying. They're not like Formula 1. They won't do that. Why would these guys continue on? The main reason is fuel consumption. We're in a fixed setup series here, and one of the biggest quirks that comes, or one of the biggest ways that you can actually affect the way that the car is handling and the performance of the car is by lowering the amount of fuel in it. Sometimes that'll help. A lot of cars, particularly circuit cars, it really does help because the car's lighter. The car wants to brake earlier. There's more, all of the power is carrying less of the weight. So the car will react quicker, turn in quicker, more balanced, quicker. Sometimes the cars are a little bit less balanced with less fuel and a little bit less settled. So that's the only major difference, but generally they'll be a little bit more on edge, a little bit more turning in, a little bit more speed. So all good things. Fixed setup series, we've got 25 minutes of qualifying. I want to stay out there to burn off the fuel in the car. So
and really rev out every single gear to try and
that's it.
Yep.
What's the worst possible thing that I can do? Tow back to the pits. Yeah, I've reset my tyres, but I've also reset the amount of fuel that's in the car. So I want to stay out. So if I've cooked those rear tyres, what I actually might do is I might come down to the pits and grab a fresh set of tyres, but no fuel, so that I still get the benefit of that lighter car, but I've still got the good tyres.
But you have to make sure that you've got all that set and ready and all that sort of stuff, and be very on the ball as you're on the pit limiter, as you're coming into your pit entry, etc., managing your pit.
Well, if you already know that you've abandoned your lap and you're on a cool down lap, like you can do it on the back straight, provided. This is a tricky circuit, particularly for qualifying, for timing of things, because it's so difficult to get clear air out on the track. So it's just about, I know when I'm racing this sort of stuff, even on the NASCAR stuff, which is short circuit, and I'm trying to get a clean lap in so I can practice qualifying simulation. I'm looking at track maps all the time. I need to know where the cars are out ahead, so if I can push or there's a particular gap that I'm targeting within the traffic. So, and it's generally just guesswork. I'm not good enough to be able to sit down here and tell you, yeah, I'm definitely going to come out on the track specifically between these two cars, but it's guesswork. A couple cracks at it. The first time you'll go, I come out half a straight ahead of where I wanted to be. Oh, okay, so I just wait a little bit longer the next time. But yeah, that's all stuff that the drivers will definitely be doing. All these little mental mind games. And instead of trying to follow somebody around for qualifying, as you say, might want to do it a straight track with a lot of straights, like a Monza. Here, you want to be off on your own because the small gains that you get out of following somebody down a straight, you actually lose more of that in the corners by not being able to see braking markers, or if they take a slightly different line, they pick the throttle up a little bit later than you, they brake a little bit earlier than you. That's all time lost because you've got to react to them as well. So generally for these type of street circuits, you want to qualifying out on your own.
Yeah. You know, to get clean air essentially, so you don't want to be in the draft. Are you saying when you're in the qualifying?
So for somewhere like a Watkins Glen, Monza, Bathurst, yes. For here, no.
Okay. Just because of the wash and the aero wash under brakes as well,
No,
right?
no, it's just not being able to spot. Like, it's far easier to go quickly when you've completely and utterly got control of the circumstances around you. If you're worrying about the
Yeah.
car in front of you that's driving, and if they're maybe half a second slower, well, where's that half a second being found? You know,
Yeah,
you're going to
exactly
get
right. And you can see a lot further when there's no one in front of you, is right. As well.
Yep. And if you make a mistake, or you're not quite sure, you've got to change lanes. You've got to try and get out of their way as well. So it's that little bit of nervous and anxiety that comes in that. I just want to put my head down. I want to focus on my lap. I don't want to be worried about somebody else when I'm at a street circuit.
Yeah, Blake Delaney there going into back into first place. Corey McFarlane had gone into the 129.6 there, and Blake Delaney's just no. So we got Blake Delaney is just taking back the first pole position there on the last lap there, which is very, very awesome. Corey McFarlane thought he had it. Michael Whiting up there in third place with Greg Barber here. We're just looking like we've just come into the checkered flag there, Scotty.
Yeah, we have. And remember what I talked about with making sure that you're staying out there and staying out on track? Well, that's exactly it. Delaney's come in late with a low fuel run, and he's been really quick there. And because of that, Corey McFarlane's actually done 19 laps to Delaney's 10 in qualifying. So, and his best lap came on his lap 16. But when I'm looking at the scoreboard for both of these guys, Delaney's done 10 laps but only had 4 registered. McFarlane's even worse. 4 registered laps from 19. So that's a lot of these guys just nudging
Really
the wall
pushing
in
hard,
different places. Yeah, just making little errors. So that says to me, those guys were really pushing the limits. Do I think they'll get down into the 29s again in the race? Maybe.
We'll just cut to race control with thank you very much to the promo department. So it's Ryan Baxter for race control tonight.
Hey fellas, how's it going?
Very good, mate. Very good. Welcome. Thank you very much for coming, mate.
Yeah, that's
Thank you
awesome. All right, I'll just cover the briefing. All right, welcome to Detroit Belle Isle here for your Porsche Cup on your Thursday evening. Right, in race control, as always, is myself, Ryan Barber, and as always in the safety car is Peter Baxter. Requesting to tow is mandatory, as always, so do make sure if you do crash and you do need to go to the pit lane, you must request to do so. This will bring out a safety car. During the safety car procedure, I will call over the race radio. Safety car, safety car, safety car. No overtaking is permitted, as always, and if you do see anyone overtaking under the safety car, do feel free to call out to race control and we'll get that all sorted for you. When the safety car is brought out, Peter will take over the race communications so you guys will know what to do. Cars between the leader and the safety car will be waved around with Peter's orders, and when the race does complete, when the leader does finish the race, the voice chat's muted, and then the chat will be unmuted when all cars remaining have finished the race. Podium's free to do burnouts while all the remaining cars do go to the pit lane. 1 fast repair, unlimited sets of tyres, and a 40-lap race. So do make sure to keep out for turn 1 and 2. It will be a bit hectic, so good luck.
Thank you very much, mate. Thank you very much.
No problem, boys. Glad I could help.
So Scotty, it's gonna be a great race, mate. We've got Blake Delaney in first place with a 129.496, followed by Corey McFarlane in second, Michael Whiting in third for Fishy Motorsports. We've got Greg Barber in fourth, Chris Island in fifth for Send It Sim Sports, Ben Siren for the top of our AM and our winner from last week, our AM division in fifth there. We've got well, as we come down the line, we're coming to the start of the race, and I'll hand back to you, Scotty.
Yeah, that's it. Ladies and gentlemen, lights are getting ready to go on. I believe we're still chilling out at this stage, so just waiting on the lights to come on. We'll be momentarily underway. You'll hear the engines get set, get ready to rise. There they are. The lights are on screen. The DSL Welding Series Porsche GT3 Cup. White points have been found on those clutches. Lights are out, and look at the start from Zinc. All the way back in 7th position, up to 6th position. Tries to go around the outside of his teammate, but he'll settle in there into 6th. 1 place gained. It's a great start. At the back end of the field, there's already been a huge stack up into turn number 1. 1 car involved in that one. He'll try and settle it down, but the rest of the field have found their way through. We'll try and catch what happened in the background. I'll tell you what, look at all those pretty Porsches on the run down to turn number 3. Makes you a little bit disappointed you're not out there racing with them, doesn't it, Chef Toddy?
It does, most definitely. Oh, no, we got Leaky at the back there. Just had a bit of a moment. Looks like Greg Leaks had a bit of a moment there, and that looks like what's happened at the back of the field there. But everybody else seems like they've gotten along pretty cleanly here. So far, anyway. Don't speak too soon, right? It is lap 1.
Key fact for lap number 1, though, is Corey McFarlane's managed to slice and dice his way up into the lead of the race at this early stage. Qualified P2, taken away. P1 is lap number 1. Is about halfway, 3/4 of the way done. Car fired off heavily in the background of the fence. I've got no idea who that was. It was Zinky.
Zink. Wow.
Well, good thing he's got tape on those headlights. There'd be glass spent everywhere all over the road right there. That was a huge impact. Fast repair coming, you can say, only moments away. 1 fast repair tonight around the streets of Detroit Belle Isle, and there are already 2 drivers who are invested. A fast repair in the hole. They're going to be a long way off the pack. They have got a long night ahead of them.
Wow, that's going to be very, 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 very hard to repair now and get any sort of miles back in now, because that was massive. I'd love to see what happened there. It seemed like he was totally off the racing line there at a point, so it seemed like maybe he'd just gotten it wrong early in the corner, just trying to maybe avoid the other 2 cars, because it seemed like there was 2 cars. There was Harry Dodds and another car in front of him as well as his teammate, so he was kind of looking ahead of himself and just making sure he wasn't getting ahead of everybody. But it just seemed like he was off the wrong race line, and it just really paid for it around here with the big cement walls, right, Scotty?
That's it. Cold concrete canyon chaos is the way that I'll be referring to that tonight.
Like that.
2 crashes on lap 1. Looks like it was a rear end that came around for Kyle Zink. That's a Porsche trait. That's a Porsche in the wall. So a long night ahead for Zinky. Have a look at the battle that Chris Island's found himself in here. And this is what it's like to follow a huge chain through the middle of lap number 2. Corey McFarlane's still your race leader, and he's banged out to a huge lead already at 1.4 seconds. That tells me, I wonder whether Delaney might be just saving just a smidge of fuel.
Yeah, I'm thinking he might be banking on a safety car here, maybe. They might have, a couple of these guys might be banking a little bit on a safety car just to save, just in case a safety car does come out, because if they save now and a safety car comes out soon, they might be able to do a bit of a splash and 1 stop and keep on going to the end.
We're talking about the 623 of Chris Island. We're going to be talking about him a little bit longer. Slices down the inside. P5 for Chris Island. No. Down the inside of Benjamin Siren, and that's all she wrote on that one. Good luck defending that, Siren.
And we've seen a lot of those very, very smooth, very nice moves of Chris Island in those colours in that Senate Sim Sports car, especially in the F3s. Just absolute beautiful moves, and he loves a good late break on the inside. I wouldn't call it a dive bomb. He's very, very smooth on it. There's a big difference between a dive bomb and a very nice, smooth late break. So a lot of respect for Chris Island out there.
Now, Toddy, we're coming here to the penultimate round of a championship, and when I'm looking at a championship, if Detroit Belle Isle is going to be on the calendar, stick it at the first round, stick it in the middle of the season. Don't stick it 1 round prior to the end of the championship. That is not where I want to see that. Talk to me about the point scenario, because I have a feeling that is going to be huge tonight.
Well, when it comes down to drop rounds, so being our penultimate round, it's starting to kind of sort itself out a little bit. Starting to, I suppose. So we've got as much as we can give, but I can give you what we have for now. But it's all going to sort itself out really towards the end anyway. But bear with me if you'd like to go back to the racing, and I shall bear with me, and I'll come back to you with the numbers.
Okay,
And,
Chef
our
Toddy's...
standings.
We're talking about slicing and dicing earlier on in the evening. Chef on board. He's off to slice and dice himself up some statistics for us. So there you go. Puns thick and fast this evening. Don't invite Rank into a broadcast unless you want a ton of them. So I'll say a big shout out to Stefan McCartan tonight, who could not be with us, who was scheduled to take over to take the role this evening. And Stefan, you've stuffed it up for everyone, mate.
So I have it right in front of me right here. So we have at top of our leaderboard, we have Blake Delaney in first with 1,008 points. 1 point behind him is Greg Barber at the moment for CNT Racing. So, and then we've got Ben Siren, who is not only leading our AM part of our championship, he's actually third overall in our championship with 936 points. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to bridge the gap. He's definitely not going to be able to bridge this gap, I don't think, to not by this point, not with drop rounds, etc. But he has been here for every single round, so you never know. But Greg Barber and Blake Delaney have been here every single round also. So we shall see how it all wraps out and it comes out and how it comes out in the wash. But it seems like that will be our top three. After that, we got Adam Hughes in fourth with 884 points. We got Michael Whiting in fifth with 882 points. Kyle Zink in sixth in 833 points. In seventh, we got Tim Cornt. Tim Cornt is sitting in second place in the. We've seen a really awesome battle between Benjamin Siren and Tim Cornt for the AM series, and we're definitely thinking within the commentary crew and the broadcast crew and everybody out there in viewer land that Benjamin Siren and Tim Cornt should definitely be put up into the pro series for next season, because these guys have been battling top 5 a lot of the time with the pro guys, so it's been really good to see. We got Harry Dodds in 8th place with only 3 points behind him with 798 points. So Harry Dodds has seen some really good improvements lately, so it'll be good to see him make some more points up and see whether he can bring it to Tim Cornt and maybe fight for that second position in the AM class as well. Chris Island wrapping at our 9th, and in 10th place is Mitch Campbell. After that, I'll hand it back to you.
I was just going to say, I'm just taking a quick look through the field because I just wanted to keep an update on where Kyle Zink is. He's actually elected to keep on going with where he is. He's already managed to overtake, I believe, Daniel Fritz, so he has picked up 1 spot at least. Steven Sinkovich, David Leslie have both had incidents, and Leakey, after that spin on lap 1, is now 1 minute and 24 seconds off the leaders. So they are going to be catching up to him. Yeah, they're on the same straight. So Corey McFarlane's on the back straight at the moment. Leakey's just gone into the last corner at the end of the back straight. So that is going to be first in the lap cars, going to be a big issue in the near future. And Zinky has decided that he needs to wear this one. This is a tricky ask. For those of you at home, they'll be asking, well, why is it so much trickier to drive a car? That car would have bent steering and would be down on power. So he's trying to make a move here around Callan Hodgkinson, sends it to the outside of Hodgkinson, dives on the brakes. Hodgkinson gets a twitch, gets nervous underneath Zinky. Zinky will still get the move done. That was a nervous moment there for Hodgkinson. Well done to pull the car up, though. Again, car control, understanding his surroundings. He's done a great job. Hasn't been able to compete, I think, as hard as he would have liked Callan Hodgkinson over the last couple of seasons with computer and internet issues. But the car control's still there, and that's what counts.
I think Callum was on the brakes pretty hard, just going, hang on, no, I can't believe that he's not going to make it around that corner. I can't believe he just made it around that corner and they just tried to chase him. That's what it looked like.
Talk to us, Toddy. What's it a bit like? Because the cars get real funny in the way they give you force feedback. And look, that may be a specific term for sim racing, but they do that in real life too when you got bent steering. You got bent upright, you got a little bit of toe, a little bit of camber damage. The contact patch on the left and front right of this car of Kyle Zink's is not identical at the moment.
No, it's not.
Oh,
Greg Leak in the background again, off. Oh no, in that beautiful red and yellow Mick Macca's car, by the look of it. Oh, I'm seeing Greg off in the background. Sorry, apologies. Hang
on, we'll have to take this one away for a moment. Here comes Chris Island. There goes Chris Island down the inside of Greg Barber. Little bit of clubbing and grinding. That's racing. Have a look at the marks on the side of his car on the left-hand side. Tries to get underneath. Greg Barber here. It's a right-hander. The next corner, though, so this is the wrong way around here for Island. Barber will hang on to that one, but now it's the crisscross. He's going to head down the second to last back straight. He is there. Greg Barber's going to have to deal with this one. Will Island yield? No, they don't. 90-degree corners, concrete canyon. It's difficult to get the car turned in. Island perseveres. Island gets the move done.
You can definitely see why Chris Island's got a bit of rubbing on the outside, on the left-hand side of that car, right?
Yeah, but the key factor is that from other cars or is that from barriers? It's got to be barriers, right, Tony?
Yeah, it's got to be barriers, right? Yeah, it's got to be barriers. That was a brilliant move. That was a brilliant sector, actually. Just the way he set up that sector of corners and how he just made it happen at the end. Absolute brilliant mastery, mate. Poetry in motion, my opinion.
It's difficult for the drivers as well because have a look at the way he attacked left. He attacked right, and then it was always crisscrosses. He shoved the nose down there. He made Greg Barber respect it and forced Greg Barber to brake a little bit deeper than he wanted to. And then he just drives back down the inside of him. There's a Sinkovic car facing backwards at the moment. I believe it's Dean Sinkovic. Dean Sinkovic is now facing in the wrong direction. Kyle Zink has just gone past it.
Oh, and as you were saying before as well, and for all you viewers out there that don't haven't raced these cars, haven't tried to drive these cars, the whole weight change and the weight distribution change in these cars is very hard to handle, and to see him like throw the nose in and then kind of crisscross it and then throw the nose in again and just put that amount of pressure on in these cars and be that confident under brakes, especially a bit of damage on that left-hand side of the car as well. Very impressive.
Keep your eyes in the background, though, because Greg Barber's going a little bit backwards, and that is last week's hero. Benjamin Siren wants to have a go, wants to have a bit of a blue on with Greg Barber. So Barber's been overtaken once, and it might be twice. It looked like he was holding up Chris Island. Chris Island has indeed set sail. 0.7 of a second faster than Greg Barber that last lap. So he has put a whole host of time over him already, and very quickly, Barber's going to start losing that draft.
And Scotty, what I have to say about Benjamin Siren as well, what he's shown at the end of last season, is the first season as well, and throughout this season, and last week got him the win, was his consistency. Consistency in laps. He sits there, he'll save gas, he'll sit there, just be calm. He sits there, be calm, saves a bit of gas, sits behind these real fast guys, and maybe he doesn't have as much pace as these guys, but he might be just a bit more patient, a bit more calm, and a bit maybe a touch smarter, a bit more cleverer sometimes.
Well, I don't know. You say smarter, you say cleverer. I think that's how Chris Island got that move done, to be perfectly honest with you. He showed the nose, he made it awkward for Greg, and then was really smart about where he finally got the move done. So, to be perfectly honest, there's tactical aggression as well.
And we had Dean Sinkovic there just on screen. It had a bit of damage on the front of his car there. David Leslie trying to make the move here on Steven Sinkovic also. Oh,
it's going to be a slice and dice. It's a send from Mars down the inside. Has managed to finally park that car on the apex, jumped off a few of the curbs. Look, David Leslie, after all of this, he might actually have Lewis Hamilton's back, or he becomes a motocross rider, one of the two.
Yeah, either one. It's still probably both profitable. So.
Well, no, see, the thing is, Lewis Hamilton's profitable. Motocross racing, I can tell you from experience, it's expensive.
Yeah, but if you're the Lewis Hamilton of motocross racing, then maybe, yeah, just combine the two and then you're sweet. Right?
So you're saying Chad Reed, shall we say?
Yeah, that sounds good. Yeah.
This just in, David Leslie to rename to Chad Reed from next week.
Wait.
We'll catch up with him later in the broadcast. For now, Siren appears to have lost a little bit of that ground back to Greg Barber, so he's pulled away from him a little bit again, and the motocross action continues back here deep in the pack. This battle will continue for a few laps. Leslie nearly got the move done in 2 corners last lap around. Little bit wide off the exit there, tries to pull the car up, tries to point the car, gets back to the gas, and that is Steven Sinkovich struggling with traction coming onto the back straight. Leslie is a long way back this time. Will he show the nose once again? Yes, he will. You betcha he will. And this time, it's not just a send from Mars, it's a send from all the way out at Pluto. He came from so far back, he's got the move done this time. So, news
Well
update.
deep under the brakes, but very, very nicely done.
Don't send it from the inner planets, send it from the outer planets.
Yeah, exactly right. Is Pluto even a planet? Or did it? No, it got unnamed planet and then renamed a planet, didn't it? I don't know. We're getting off track anyway.
It's a very large icy body. Shall we leave it at that?
Yes, let's do that. Yeah, leave it at that. But that was a pretty ice cold move, so let's do that.
Oh no. Well, we're going to
We had a
have
bit
to
of
go
a,
back here in a few moments. We've got an update. We've actually prepared a replay of the David Leslie incident from lap number 1. Race Control were actually having a look at that one, I believe, and I don't think a penalty was issued on it either, but there is more of a story to tell. So DSL Action Replay will tell us. Where is Leslie? Leslie's on the outside of your picture. Keep an eye on the pink car, pink and black DSL welding car. Now, moving across on the inside, the 169 car. Looks like he's done that on his own. That looks like a rear
Yeah,
brake
he's just
lockup if
blocked
I've
up.
seen one.
Cold tires lock up.
Maybe an early downshift. Yep, 100%. It's an early downshift. He's nowhere near the other car.
Yeah, I think he thought he was driving a GT4 car. To be honest, trying to use a downshift rotation to get around that first corner. That's what it looked like.
Well, finally get what happened to Kyle Zink. We saw it in the background. We've seen the aftermath of what his car looks like. Now you'll finally get to see how it ended up that way. Comes in, turns in, grabs a bit of curb, car pushes wide, grabs the accelerator, and round she goes in a do-si-do.
Oh.
Awkward position for him to try and pull that one up too, so...
Yeah, stay on brakes. So he did really well to stay out of that. Oh. Wow, insult to injury, hey, just rubbing salt in the wound, that is a little bit. Oh, poor guy. So thank you very much to DSL Welding Services for their support and sponsorship, Action Replay. Oh, Dean Sinkovich having a massive moment, but it wasn't that massive. Did he just cop a bit of grass, you reckon there, Scotty?
A little bit over the curb, yeah, a little bit too much throttle. By the look of that, though, I think he just wanted to kiss the inside barrier. I think he likes the signage down there in between turn 3 and turn 4, the Lear Corporation. I think he was just trying to go over there and say, yep, good job on the signage over here, guys.
Yeah. Do you want the imprint of a DragonRC logo on the side of your wall? Yeah, thank you. There you go. Sorry.
Now you get to see a funny-looking Porsche for the rest of the race.
Yeah.
Battle here for 7th position, Harry Dodds. Mitch Campbell have been going at it for an extended period of time throughout the race as well, as the race has finally started to settle down. First pit stop of the night is P number 4, is dropped back. It is Christopher Ireland is going to go diving into the pits.
And
And
Harry Dodd straight in as well.
So, we're 13 laps into a 40-lap race. Is this a 2-stopper or is this a 1-stopper? And that's why we saw Delaney backing up his corners a fair way.
See, that's a thing. That's why we had a bit of... Yeah, I think there might be a spanner in the works here. I think these guys might be able to take a little bit more fuel than they think they might be able to this first pit stop, and we might see 1, but I think we might see most go 2, but I think some, or maybe 1 or 2 might be ballsy enough and skillful enough to go 1.
We need to keep our eyes on where these cars are starting to come out, because the first of our stoppers has come out Just in behind, I think it is Greg Leake. Yeah, so they've got lap traffic to clear. Harry Dodds is going to get held up here. This is not working in his favour. This is a big loss. If he has to make 2 stops, one of the biggest issues he's going to face is traffic. Because if the other guy is going to slow it down, make 1 stop, he's going to catch that traffic. And the one thing he did not want to see on his outlap was good old Greg Leakey trying to get his way around the track. He's gotten clear for David Leslie a lot sooner. So Leslie's got a great run through there. And he will try and get the foot down now. And Leslie, of course, has not stopped.
It looks like Harry Dodds is already feeling the pressure a little bit from David Leslie. He knows David Leslie's fast. And if David Leslie has some clean air, he makes up a bit of pace and a lot of track very quickly. He's got the skills to do it. So you can definitely see Harry Dodds is driving a bit more aggressively now. It seems in front there. So but Chris Island seems like he's falling into a bit of a groove, not into the pit.
I've got an update for you on the Kyle Zink machine as well. Fast repair has now been taken. He's also filed through the pit lane. So the next time you see that car out on track, it's going to look a heck of a lot cleaner. Indeed, there it is. Thank you, Shibby.
Very nice.
Trying to demonstrate a point. Now producer's like, you know what? I'll work with you today.
Shibby said only today.
Today only special. You get a producer that works with you. Who are you watching along on the stream at home? Are you looking for our race leader, Corey McFarlane, Blake Delaney, Michael Whiting? They're keeping the battle going on all the way up at the front.
And that's a great segue as well. Big shout out to everybody out there in viewerland, to our viewers on Facebook and YouTube, and all our social media channels. Make sure you hit us up, hit that notification bell. Make sure you keep up to date, and make sure you come and celebrate with us and watch our races. And if you want to come and jump into our into next season as well, feel free to come along and be part of it also.
Yeah, look, and if you just want to get involved in something, one of the best series that you can actually get involved in is actually the fixed series or the single class series. Is the reason for that is everyone's in the same bit of machinery, so that's the best place to start. That's why the Porsche Cup itself is incredibly popular right the world over. It's one of the series that does dominate racing from Europe, from America, from Australia, from Japan, right around the world. These cars are loved because it's the same bit of machinery. All that you can do to it is a little bit of setup tweaking. There's no ABS. There's no traction control. Driver inputs mandatory.
Yeah, it's you and the machinery. And
the machinery,
how you drive it.
And how you lean the tyres in it a little bit, I guess.
Yeah.
The best part about these cars is they've got about 5 settings you can change. Literally. And one of those is fuel.
yeah, and one of those is fuel, which just really narrows it down. You know, but it does. It kind of. They're actually quite, like, I find them quite a fun. Not a fun car. I wouldn't say a fun car. A very testing car. Because I'm quite new to iRacing. I've driven every other title there is known to man, essentially, but with iRacing, you know, big learning curve, and starting with these things, you know, you kind of go, single race, I'll do some MX5s, and you get a bit faster than the MX5s and in iRacing, and then you jump in these things and you go, yeah, I've got a hell of a lot to learn. What am I missing? And then you try and find and pull the pieces together, essentially. And then once you start doing that, and you go, okay, so it's about the blips on the down throttles, on the downshifts, and making sure you're settling in a car, doing your braking in a straight line, you know, making sure that you're accelerating in a straight line, making sure your car's settled before you're really on the gas hard, you know, squeezing on the gas, squeezing on the brake, being trail braking into corners, but braking a little bit earlier, so you're settling it before you're getting into where you want to be, into the apex, and have the car settled so you can get a really nice exit. All those sort of things, you know, that's a lot of things. Until you get into these cars, things like these cars and the V8s, you don't realise those things, I don't think.
Well, update on your pit lane strategies and where people are at currently out on track. Right before he pits, Corey McFarlane had about a 7 and 8 second lead. He had gone absolutely ballistic and we had cleared the rest of the lead pack. But if you have a look, Blake Delaney, Michael Whiting, Greg Barber, 3 cars yet to pick. Callum Hodgkinson among those. David Leslie. So there's 5 cars that are hoping to get to the end of lap 20, come in, splash, make it all the way to the end. So these guys are targeting a one-stop race. Everyone else, you can almost guarantee that everyone else might have been at the tail end of their fuel range.
But also, bear in mind, Blake Delaney and Michael Whiting are working together. They're the fishy boys. They always work. They always swim upriver together. So those 2 boys always work together. So those boys are working together, you know, going Indian file, essentially, you know, back and forth. Just trying to use a bit of stream, etc.
I can tell you, Kyle Zink just made a little bit of a contact with the rear bumper of Leakey. Greg Leak trying to get it out of the way. Kyle Zink, I think it was just a bit of a misunderstanding, but that is a fast repaired car that is no longer clean. And that is, I think, why you saw Kyle Zink wait so long to come in and take that fast repair. This will be it right here. Leakey's going to pick up the gas. And the new generation of Porsche Cup cars have tiny, tiny brake lights. Wow. Tiny brake lights.
Yeah. It's like the Aston Martin GT4. It's like you can't even see them.
Yeah, look, I've never had to look at the brake lights of the Aston GT4 because they're already in my rear view mirror.
Yeah, I worked out that really quickly as well. Just get in front of them and just don't have to worry about them.
Yeah, look, if you're the leader, you don't ever have to look for the brake lights.
Exactly right, mate. Just qualify better. Just don't worry about it. That's my new race strategy. Just qualify better and then just don't worry about them. Yeah.
Then qualify in pole position, that's it, race done. We're packing up, we're going home, lads.
Yeah, see you later, boys.
Taking the ball, we're done.
I can't always get pole, but lately I've been kind of, you know, top 3s. And I'm like, yeah, cool. I know you two guys can just go off and battle a little bit and just have your own little tough, you know, your own little scuffle, and then I'll just overtake you guys while you've, you know, destroyed tenths out of your lap. Sweet as.
Actually, that's a really good pickup there, Mr. Producer Man. Thank you, Nathan Shibby. That is Harry Dodds, and the car directly ahead of him that he's chasing down, I believe, is Mitch Campbell. So this battle's about to get spicy, and 5 kinds of spicy at that. And just up the road from them is Callum Hodgkinson, who is yet to stop. So he's got some fuel saving to do, and he's only 2 laps shy of making his pit lane window. That's a whole bunch of grass there for Mitch Campbell, and Harry Dodds gets a little bit larger in the rear view mirror.
Oh, he's right in that draft as well. And he's just hunting.
At this stage, it might be better just to look out the rear view mirror, take a photo. It might last longer than him back there because that'll be a couple of laps and you'll be looking at his brake lights for the rest of the race.
And these guys have had a bit of a battle through the series as well, Mitch Campbell and Harry Dodds as well. So it'll be interesting to see. Harry Dodds has edged him out in the points now, so which is a good effort for Harry Dodds. But Mitch Campbell still pushing hard, as he always does, in the 959 Sim Sports car.
Just trying to take a little bit of a look around the track and see what's going on here. Currently, first, second, and third are sort of, if one's in one of the 90-degree corners at the start of the lap, third is in the one behind it, and then second's on a little straight between. So even though they're actually 6 seconds apart, it looks like they're all actually still relatively close together. Fuel strategy is the key for those guys. They've got it all to play for. Corey McFarlane, though, Corey is coming. 0.4, 0.5 of a second faster on that lap for Corey McFarlane. And he is 15 seconds back with a lot to do if these guys can make it to the end in terms of fuel. If McFarlane makes it to the end in terms of fuel, well, maybe he's sitting a little bit prettier.
Wow, he's 0.6 faster a lap than anybody else currently, which is crazy. Corey McFarlane just absolutely pushing hard. What did he go in? Go into the pits? 7.8 seconds in a lead? So
he's going to need to at least put that margin back over the field again, plus some. And time maybe running out for that. I think there may have been the thoughts that a safety car was the way to go, and he wanted to control the pack.
I think so. I thought we would have seen quite a few safety cars. I thought we would have seen a lot more. Wow, Steven Sinkovic straight into the wall there. Might have just laid on the brakes or just lock up, you reckon? Looks like a big lock up.
Oh, he's going to try and rejoin. I think that might have been one of the crisscross racing cars. That car has already got a little bit of damage on that one. Not quite happy running down the straight.
Whoa.
And does not pull up for the corner.
That was fully pulling to the left there. He's had some broken suspension even when he was coming to the braking zone, but look at that. Or maybe it was a little bit damaged and those bumps just broke the last bit of it. You know?
Well, stranger things have happened. Yeah. It's not too bad. It's not too bad. It's not too far.
Look at his hands! Look at his hands on the straight. He's trying to drive straight.
Oh, he's in. Okay, never mind. He's in disaster mode. Yeah, there is a car crawling around in the pit.
Oh, wow.
And the leaders have just come past him as well, which was another big moment. He, I believe, has now gone 2 laps down and 9 over for Steven Sinkovic, if that's his second fast repair in the hole.
You know the funniest things I find about the Porsches, more than anything, the more they get banged up, the older Porsche model they look, like a 911, because all they've done is 911's just got longer, basically kept the same body shape, but just gone longer wheelbase. So the more they get smashed up, they just look like an older style.
Yeah,
Porsche.
can I get a Porsche 992 GT3 Cup? Yeah, why do I want one? So I can take a hammer to every corner and get a 991, a 911.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah.
No, I don't want a 992. I want a 911, but they're cheaper.
Yeah, exactly right. This one's much cheaper. I'll sell you for half price for it.
I'm coming back.
Mitch Gamble.
I'm coming back to reclaim Thursday nights at some point.
Sounds good. Sounds good, mate.
Have you enjoyed tonight so far, Toddy? We're only halfway through the race.
This has been awesome, mate. This has been great. And I thought we'd have like so many more safety cars this schedule, which is awesome. We haven't seen them. Everyone's obviously. I think this is probably why you were saying earlier. Why I would have put this at the start of the round and all the rest of it, but I think they probably put it at the end of it to just go. Let's let these guys have almost a whole season to get used to it and then do it. And what a move, Mary Dodds there. Come on.
Stand up.
Son.
Smash your hands together. Make some noise. So, for Harry Dodds. Can you say that again? That's great.
Make some noise.
Make some noise. That's it. Make some noise. Not a rattlegun noise. Not some NASCAR rattlegun. Actually, you know what, Chef Toddy? Give us the best NASCAR rattlegun. Go on.
How do you mean?
So NASCAR has 5. Oh well, they used to. They used to have 5 lug nuts. The NASCAR Next Gen series, as of this year, only has 1. But the truck series, if you've seen our Monday night broadcasts, have 5 lug nuts. And what they do with the rattle guns is they just hold the trigger down. So literally from one nut, pull it off, onto the next nut, until all 5s are done. So go on. That's basically it. Close enough. Yeah. yeah. But anyway, we'll add that to the compilation. Monday night, we're going to have a NASCAR rattle gun sound competition.
Okay. So what's your one like? So I can get a feel for it.
So for those of you out there in the chat, if you want to get your NASCAR rattle gun sounds too, if you can just message them to the Facebook page, SRW Sim Racing World on Facebook, at SRW League is the tag on Facebook, and send us in your NASCAR rattle gun sound. It should sound something in the realm of it's like a small dog going off. Something in that realm. Go on, do some research. Nathan Howard got a... Well, DSL Welding Services. Whilst we're talking about rattle guns, David Leslie was rattling some rear tyres around in the wrong direction by the look of that.
I think my voice is too rattly for a rattle gun, though. You know?
There it is. Gets a little bit sideways over the bump. Fires off in the left-hand side barrier.
Oh, see, that's a...
Oh, what an awkward place to be parked, too. And I think he stalled it, did he? No, he got away with that one. Oh, you got a flick spin it, son. No!
Oh! Oh,
Oh.
nobody's backed it in the wall. He's broken that rear suspension in the process.
Well, I mean, it's lap 20 now. You can pit and make it home.
Wow, that is not turning straight whatsoever on any corner of that car. Oh, Callan's into the pits.
So we had 5 drivers up to go for the fuel save strategy, try and run as long as they possibly could. And that 4 drivers still circulating out on the track without making a pit stop. Make that probably 3 drivers in a few corners' time when David Leslie makes his way back around to pits. Straight was running quite well off David Leslie due to the running order adjusted with the pit strategies, but he will fall all the way off the pace now. Blake Delaney, Michael White and Greg Barber, we are now on to lap number 23. Still yet to make their way into pit lane. Will it be this time through for Delaney? Greg Leake. Oh, hang on. Hang on. Car 159. Nathan Gore just called out to race control. We might be in the realm of a safety car. No. No, it's just about the rejoin of David Leslie. That's all.
Oh, I see.
I got excited for half a moment. I was hoping we might get a NASCAR overtime, but then I remembered wrong series. Steven Sinkovich will make the retirements list, unfortunately, tonight. When we saw that car banged up, beaten up, bent out of shape 5 kinds of sideways, that was the second time the car had been injured by its pilot, and unfortunately, the spare car was already in use. So Steven Sinkovich will make his way from the server. We'll maybe get an opportunity to talk to him here in a moment. Nope. Mr. Sinkovich not available to us this evening, so that's an unfortunate
Disappointing,
early
but I think-
end.
I think Callan Hodgkinson's the only one that hasn't really has actually brought that thing into the pits really nice and spotless. I mean, from the sort of mid-grid part. So he might be one to watch, actually, Callan Hodgkinson. He'd already been up 7 spots before he went into the pits. He came out of the pits still 4 spots up from where he started. So he might be a little bit of a black sheep or a grey horse from the back there that might just do some consistent laps and get his way through there. And he's Greg Barber's teammate there as well. So in the same pool master livery, etc.
Oh, that is a bent out of shape looking Daniel Fritz. And I get the feeling this is an unscheduled pit stop for Daniel Fritz to come in for some damage repair. The front right corner of that car is not tracking as straight as he would like. The camber is all out of whack.
Has he already used his fast repair?
And it has not popped out, so that is the second time he's had to use a fast repair tonight. So that is not a spare car for Daniel Fritz. That is potentially game over. Was there a locked right front on the way in there?
I had a feeling he'd already used it earlier in the start because he did have a moment at the start of the race. So,
oh, that is a lot of understeer. That is a lot of understeer, and that is our second motocross entry of the night. Oh, Kyle Zink! Kyle Zink has just caught the barrier very heavy in turn 1, and he'll catch it again on the way through turn number 2 as he tries to rescue that car. It is 5 kinds of bent. The left front tire on that thing is hanging off. That is night done for Kyle Zink. He was running so well after early chaos. Fractionally too deep, and look at the impact. The safety crew on the other side of that barrier, they didn't flinch. Look at them. They're standing around there in the crowd. They're celebrating it.
It's like, I'm taking photos, man.
No ducking and covering here. Our fans are of the highest degree of bravery.
Yeah, most definitely. Just taking photos, just straight out there. It's all for the gram, bro.
This is what it looks like from the onboard shot for Kyle Zink. 1 downshift, and that didn't sound like a pinch brake, didn't sound like anything. I think it's just a missed braking marker. He tried his absolute hardest to get that thing to go where he wanted it to go. He's halfway around the lap at this point in time and still not enjoying life. That is going to be a retirement, I think, for Kyle Zink. Although he pushed off with a bent car for a very long period of time, so he might do the same again here.
That's weird though. It looked like he was at a breaking point. Like he brought it down. Oh, he got up quiet. Oh, look at the damage on that thing.
I wish Mr. Parzing the best of luck. Oh! Yep, that's it.
He's driving at right angles right now. Wow, I feel for him.
That number you
My
see on the
head's even
dash.
tilting seeing him. You know, like seeing in the gyro cam, my head's tilting going. Oh.
That number you see on the dash, that's third gear. He didn't even try and bring it out of third gear down to first gear.
There's no
on his
point.
way to the pits. Yeah, there's no point. Just leave it in third gear because if he tries to grab gears, it's going to spin. It's a great job by him to get that back to the pit. And that will be a long time on the jacks for repairs to that car.
Yeah. He will not be coming back out on track, I'm sure. Mr. Greg Barber holding it with the fishy boys tonight. Corey McFarlane dropped down a couple of spots. I wonder what's happened to him, but no, he's just after he's pit, sorry.
That's his fuel
Apologise
strat,
for that. Yeah, it's just his fuel strat, so I think he's just pulling there. Yeah, sorry, he did come out 4 spots down from where he began, so he's up 2 spots from where he started. So thank you very much for our illustrious producer Shibby. Legend. You guys can't hear him, but we can hear him in our ears. So
he's got all the
it's
stats
awesome
in
to
the
have him.
background. We don't get to look at most of the stats. We only get to see what's on the broadcast there. So he's cheating.
No.
Give us the cheat code, Shibby.
Shibby just said no. He's just doing his job.
Speaking of Greg Barber, you were mentioning him a few moments ago. He just had a huge moment.
Did he?
So he has rescued this car from what I thought was certain disaster. There you go. That's the aftermath of it. Tips it in. A little bit too much curb, a little bit too much throttle. And
what a save. Come on, son.
does his best Kyle Zink lap 1 impersonation without the consequences.
That's just showing off. I don't reckon he made a mistake. I think he's just showing off.
All going according to plan for Greg Barber.
I meant to do that, man. I was just showing you guys like how cool I am. Yeah.
Blake Delaney on screen to race leader. Blake Delaney finally going to come to the attention of his pit crew. So he is now in the lane and serviced and out there. Gee, the joys of sim racing. We can fast forward that pit stop. No boring around. No sitting and waiting for tyres. No watching all of that. Nah, we just get to see him rejoin the racetrack. And he does rejoin the racetrack 12 seconds behind Corey McFarlane. So a lot of work to do.
Wow.
Unless Corey McFarlane has another trip through the pit lane to do at this stage, which is entirely possible.
And as we've seen with this Porsche GT3 Cup, this series has all been about, as you were saying earlier, especially about this track, but especially about this series, it's all been about how consistent laps people can put down. And they just if they can keep themselves calm and they do these things, you know, Greg Barber up into the second place there. Michael Whiting, as we saw with Michael Whiting and Blake Delaney fighting a bit too much and defending a bit too much on that last lap in Watkins Glen last week. We don't like to see it, but, you know, that's just the consequences of what can happen. But we could see all these guys that were really... it was because of that upset. We saw all these guys, you know, that top 5 was a lot... two AM guys, plus we had the pro guys as well. But also just that mix made it... just because of that happening, made that mix so much more diverse because these guys... even though they might not have been the fastest guys out on track, they were doing consistently similar laps, you know, within, you know, 5/10 or a second. But that's what makes a difference, right? As we see through pit stops. Oh, Chris Ireland.
Well,
putting the pressure on Michael Whiting.
Something that's worth noting is that the lap that these guys have all pit on, lap 28, lap 29. Remember the leaders? The leaders actually came down lap 12, lap 13. So, theoretically, they've just gone long and run the tank dry before they've come through to the attention of the pit crew. David Leslie's night continues to get worse. That looks like the barrier at turn 3, and indeed it is. And he will get running...
Yeah, he had that moment earlier, but I thought he kind of just dialed it back in and he was good then. He'd done quite a few consistent laps after that first moment, but
So, tyres starting to overheat, tyres starting to fade away from our drivers, and Chris Ireland goes toe-to-toe with Michael Whiting. You saw what he did earlier on in the piece to Greg Barber. Now, he gets his opportunity to have a crack at the next car in line, and Barber should come out behind these guys too. So, effective race position, this is for P3.
put the pressure on.
Indeed, Greg Barber's in the pit lane right now, so he has finally decided that it's time to come to the attention of his pit crew. Pulls up smoothly in the bay, and you will get to watch the field go by. That is Blake Delaney, that is Michael Whiting, that is Chris Ireland coming through shot. So that gives you a really good story of how close Delaney is to Whiting and Ireland. So Ireland will want to get on with this one, you know. He will not want to sit in the rearview mirror of Whiting for too long. And the other thing is, if Whiting holds him up now, he'll never get the opportunity to get onto Blake Delaney. The Fishy boys will work together on that one for sure.
100%. But we all know Michael Whiting is no stranger to pressure and defending. He knows how to put the elbows out in his Porsche. He knows how to get those bit better exits out of the corners, etc., etc., etc. But a little bit of draft doesn't really matter too much on this track. But a little bit of draft that close to him is definitely going to be able to help him make a move, Chris Ireland. And Chris Ireland loves piling on the pressure. This is where he loves to be.
I've just been keeping in the back of my view and my servers and my timing, I've been keeping an eye on Corey McFarlane. He just struck a wall. However, he got very lucky. The iRacing simulation decided that he got away without any damage on that one. So McFarlane's starting to make a few mistakes as well. But remember, he's got a 14-second lead at this point. He can cruise home.
Yeah, as we saw when he went into the pits, he had a 7.8 second lead, but then he came out and
here comes lap traffic. That is Callan Hodgkinson, and Delaney's got through on him real quick. This could be Chris Ireland's opportunity. Callan Hodgkinson's going to do his best to get through turn number 1, turn number 2, without compromising these guys. Here comes Ireland. He is all over the rear bumper now of Michael Whiting. Will there be a send on the run down to turn number 3? Whiting's going to hold the center of the track. He's not going to offer up the space. Doesn't matter how far you block it. Chris Ireland will find the space, opens him up the inside. Move's not done yet. Still side by side. Run to turn number 4. Now Chris Ireland will get the move done. Looking for the crisscross, there's Michael Whiting. This one's not done yet because here comes the back straight after this next right-hander. And now Whiting, for the first time, will have the draft on Ireland. Ireland runs a little bit hot on the corner entry. Here comes Whiting, right back there. So it's not done yet for Chris Ireland. He'll defend the inside line. Will he be able to pull the car up this time? Nice and sketchy on the acceleration. Deep goes Whiting. Whiting's going to hang it around the outside. Still keeps it there. 2 left-handers now to come. Michael Whiting still on the inside. Finally will yield. And great defense, Chris Ireland. Nearly finds the inside barrier. Car steps sideways. Whiting still in with an opportunity. Will he set him up? Looks to get the car turned in nicely. Settles it down. Now we're on the run. Up from turn number 12 here. Finally to turn number 13, and Chris Ireland took an entire lap to lock that position on. Got the move done on the run to turn number 3, run through to turn number 4, still took him until turn 10 to finally lock that move in as done. And Whiting is still working.
He's never going to let this go. He's never going to let this fish off the hook.
I was about to make some fishy jokes. Fishy motorsports car, Whiting, a fish. He's going to be looking for it. McFarlane just had another wall strike that he got away with from the iRacing simulations. So I think McFarlane's starting to come a little bit undone in terms of tyres.
Oh, okay. I see. But he's got enough of a gap to let it go, though. Doesn't he? He's enough.
Got away with it with the simulation. That's lucky. He can't do that 3 times.
Yeah.
Whiting's just about there. And look at the cars bounce under acceleration. Ireland cuts across to the right. Tries to break the toe. It might not be done yet. And this is where Whiting was strong. Under brakes. He's going to have another dive. That's a send from a mile back. Does make contact. Both cars around.
Both.
Michael Whiting veers straight away across the track in front of Callan Hodgkinson. And the rejoin in front of Siren. He will have a case to answer in front of the stewards for that rejoin. Are you kidding me, Michael Whiting? Park the car there. You've got to be patient. The stewards will be straight onto that. That will not be get through at all.
Wow. No view of relative whatsoever there. Wow.
Drama last week for the Fishy Motorsports boys at Watkins Glen. Drama this week at Detroit Belle Isle. Stewards are straight onto it. They're looking into it straight away.
Wowee. And here we are. Thank you very much, DSL Welding Services, for the action replay.
Down the inside, late braking move. He's got the car in a straight line as deep as he possibly can. But you know, Chris Ireland is still going to make the corner.
Oh, just not enough space.
If he stops there, he's fine.
Yeah.
But he doesn't.
Wow.
Was that Zinc? Who is that just came through?
No, that was Mitch Campbell coming through. That was Mitch Campbell in the 959 Sim Sports car.
No, it was Benjamin Siren. It was Benjamin Siren because he snuck back through in a P3. So Benjamin Siren's, Michael Whiting's pain 2 weeks in a row is Benjamin Siren's gain.
Sorry, I was getting confused with the back markers there that just passed earlier. Sorry.
My word. 2 weeks in a row for Whiting, isn't it? 2 weeks in a row.
Yep.
He will be kicking himself. Absolutely kicking himself.
He will be. Wow.
Currently under investigation is the current up-to-date. We do not have a decision as of yet, but Michael Whiting's case does not look good.
No. Wow. Chris is just pushing hard as well, but at least it kind of...
And there it is. There it is. Penalty has come through. Drive-through penalty for car number 025. 025 to serve a drive-through penalty. He knew it was coming. He is immediately in. Got that penalty less than 5 seconds before he made the pit lane. He knew it was coming.
He knew it was coming. It might have just been a rush of blood to the head. We all do it as well, you know. It's just one of those things.
Well, he's got to make the move back.
Get back into I want to get that move back into it, and then you go, "Wow, I didn't realize that person was that close." But you know, you get caught up.
And he is dropped. He was fighting for P3, P4. He is now P8 on the racetrack. Ain't that some consequences for Michael Whiting?
Wow, that's crazy. So it's all up to Blake Delaney for the Fishy Boys now. Corey McFarlane with the Ascendant Sim Sports Boys. He might have a two-foot, and he was first in last night's F3, and he might get the 2 in a row tonight. Oh, 2 in a row for his second win in a row. 2 nights in a row.
What do you do if you're in Michael Whiting's shoes? You've just served a drive-through penalty. You're probably a little bit hot under the collar. And is that Harry Dodds just up the road? Yep, that's Whiting in the background there. So, yeah, he's got to catch and pass Harry Dodds. Taking a look at the lap times, Harry Dodds is doing a 31.6, so he's about a second a lap faster. He's going to be on him in next to no time.
And Harry Dodds, but don't discount Harry Dodds. Harry Dodds knows how to put his elbows out, so, you know, he's gotten a lot more patient. He's seen a lot more improvements in the last couple of weeks, so... I wouldn't discount Harry Dodds. He might be able to put his elbows out a little bit.
Well, the American Invasion goes to a NASCAR circuit last week. Brings you drama. This week to an IndyCar circuit. You can't take your eyes off it. This is the Porsche GT3 Cup Series, the 992. What a classic. It's starting to become Harry Dodds! Into the wall. That is going to be toe or camber damage to that front right tyre for sure. You can see the time.
He's definitely lost a lot of speed down the straight there, straight away.
And now Whiting is coming. So a few guys in the dying stages of this thing starting to make mistakes. We said that McFarlane was starting to strike some walls. He's got to be careful. Well, Toddy, it's finally taken us about 2.5 laps, 3 laps probably. We can take a breath. You thought this was just trundling out to a foregone conclusion, but no.
It's crazy how, you know what I expected tonight? I expected it to be like lap 1 safety car, lap 4 safety car, you know, a lap 7 safety car, and then it would just shuffle up the whole, you know, fuel, pit strategy, tyre strat, all the rest of it. but it's just been wall-to-wall awesome racing the whole time. So it's just been amazing. It's been
Quite
so
literally,
awesome to have Penultimate
wall
race.
to wall.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, exactly right. Yes, it's so awesome. Excited there.
Talk to me, bro, across the rear wing of Carrie Dodds' car. He's going to get a talking to from Michael Whiting in a couple laps when he tries to send it down the inside somewhere. Whiting's got an opportunity to try and set this one up. 5 laps left to go. There will be no safety cars between here and the finish. So you come to Detroit Belle Isle, 100% safety car likelihood, you would think. 0% safety cars here tonight. And now here comes Whiting. Whiting is just about to send it down the inside. Dodds is going to block the inside. Daniel Fritz is making his way through the pits. Back to the action out on track. Dodds will defend it down the inside. So Whiting wants to get on with the show. There's probably a P6 still in the offing here, but he's got to get past the defensive wall of Harry Dodds.
It's going to be real interesting. So Kellen Hodgkinson and Daniel Fritz seem to have had a bit of a moment at about the same time. So I'm not sure whether they've had it coming together there, or whether we'll hark back to it
here we go.
after this
Here we
bit
go.
of action.
Dodds is going to continue to defend it down the inside, and again to the outside, Whiting. So it's going to be all eyes on the Fishy Motorsports 025 entry of Michael Whiting for the final 5 laps. He is going to have his hands full. And I tell you what, Harry Dodds, you better be careful with how you defend this one, mate. That guy is coming, and he's not happy.
And Michael Whiting's got some serious pace on him too, and he's a freight train right now. Yeah.
Oh, wall! That's a piece of the wall for Harry Dodds. Finally gets the opportunity he needs. Michael Whiting, and he'd say that's just about done. They pass the Chevrolet boards on the outside, and already ahead on the run into turn number 1, Michael Whiting. So P7 now locked in for him. He's got to keep it clean and defend from Dodds. Dodds is too far back to, you think, respond for that one. So now it's eyes forward. Next car on the road's Mitch Campbell. Oh, big lock-up for Dodds! How did he keep that one out of the barrier, Toddy?
Oh mate, just absolute massive save there. But he was trying to push hard. He was under a bit of pressure, and he's obviously got a bit of damage to both sides of the suspension on that car now, because we've seen the lap earlier, him trying to defend, slap the same wall, another wall on the inside, and then slap the outside wall as well. So he's gotten a bit of rubbing on both sides.
How they would actually approach that one too, Toddy, if the difference between probably 10 laps to go and Dodds would probably say, you know what, I think I'd just let this one go.
Yeah, 100%.
And 5 laps to go, and he's got to defend it and a couple wall strikes. Well, Mitch Campbell.
He might have known what Michael Whiting just did to Chris Island as well. He just wanted to stay out of his way. Sorry.
We'll see. Toddy trying to strike up some drama in between the drivers for the final round, I think. But Mitch Campbell, teammate Benjamin Siren, the big benefactor.
Oh, most definitely. And that's what I've been talking about. Benjamin Siren doing nice, consistent laps, man. Just doing nice, consistent laps and staying clean. And now Mitch Campbell is starting to learn the same sort of traits from what Benjamin Siren's been doing.
I tell you what, look at the lap time. Fastest car on track, Michael Whiting. Last time by,
he's on the charge. Come on, son.
He is hot under the collar. He wants a few more points, and there's a few more points sitting up the road for Mitchie.
He's got some points to clamber back from last week. I think that's his biggest thing.
1.5 seconds. 1.5 seconds. The pace difference for Mitch Campbell. The pace difference between Mitch Campbell and Michael Whiting on that last lap. So
it might be what he actually needs is a bit of like us telling him he can't do it, and he's showing us he's trying to prove us wrong here.
2 laps left to run. It's now 1.5 laps left to run, and Whiting is a long way back. So it's going to be a desperate dive, you'd think, to try and get it done. His opportunities are numbered. 0.6 of a second's the margin. He was 0.2 of a second quicker in the middle sector. Mitch Campbell must have had a mistake on the last lap because he dropped a second in the middle sectors as well. So Whiting, he's just about there. And the white flag is now in the air, and halfway around the final lap it will be for Corey McFarlane. What a lead, what a win it will be for him. He's going to win the race by 20 seconds. Would you believe it? 20 seconds over Blake Delaney, but Delaney will be happy with that. Siren will pick up third, 11 seconds, should the worst not happen. But back to the action out on track, and Michael Whiting's there. He is coming, and it will be the Fishy Motorsports freight train, hopefully rolling into station if he's got anything to say about it. But Mitch Campbell's got only 12 corners left to defend from this man.
Are the piranha teeth going to come out? Are they going to be shown? It looks like they're coming out already.
He absolutely is there. So he'll shallow up the entry now. Doesn't want to let him get a run here. Now he'll try and maximize the exit off the next right-hander. And Michael Whiting's right there. Contact on the way in. And that might seal it. That will be enough of a gap. He got an overlap. But there wasn't enough overlap to defend a racing room. That was a tricky place to squeeze the nose in. And that'll do it. That'll do it.
That seemed like a little bit of an earlier breaking point than Michael Whiting was expecting from Mitch Campbell there as well. So it seemed like it was a little bit earlier braking. So he's just trying to get on the anchors really early.
Corey McFarlane is on the run to home now. So my apologies. We actually did have one more lap. So the white flag is now in the air. Run on down the back straight for Corey McFarlane for the final time. And there's a little bit of, that's some bent aluminium, the sheet metal right in front of you, is it not? That left front of the car?
That is, most definitely.
So
that is not running right, but he's wheels straight, so he's gotten away with it there.
So anyway, battles are all signed, sealed and delivered up in front. Chris Island will be just shy of getting back onto Ben Siren, under 2 seconds, but out of time for him to get third place back tonight. So without a miracle effort. But Michael Whiting, once again on the outside on the run into turn number 3 of Mitchie Campbell, still there. Will he have learned the lesson from last time? Does the crisscross. He'll be on the outside once again. It's the left-handed this time. He's still there. He's still there. Now he's clear. Now he'll switch back once again. Does the crossover. Throws the fake. And that is a classy move. So a few mistakes here, there, and everywhere. But
that late move and then that early move on the brake. Late move on the brake.
Corey
McFarlane on the last lap. Is he showing off?
Oh, hang on. It's not done. It's not done yet. McFarlane and Campbell are still rubbing. They're still rubbing. So don't celebrate just yet. Corey McFarlane will get this one done, but have a look at how close proximity these guys are. Campbell might just get a little bit cheeky here. He's got nothing to lose.
He might actually. You reckon he's still got it on?
Oh, big bit of curving there. Just slightly grazes the outside barrier. Slightly grazes the barrier yet again. But guess what? There's only a straight line to the finish, so it doesn't really matter all that much. So Mitch Campbell definitely had a go. You can't say he didn't try.
Corey McFarlane with almost 22 seconds lead there from the start. So big shout out to Corey McFarlane from Senate Sim Sports. He won the F3s last night by 16, almost 17 seconds, and he's won tonight by over 21 seconds. So quite a dominant performance from Corey McFarlane tonight. And last night.
Michael Whiting, what a race for him. 30 laps of good green flag clean racing, and then all of a sudden Chris Island shows up on the scene and wants to spoil the party. And it was for the podium. It was for the last step on the podium and the opportunity to talk to Chef Toddy. And well, I think it was worth the dive bomb, Toddy.
Yeah, I think it was. You know. Well said, mate.
I'd send it from outer space for you too. Don't worry.
Oh, mate, me too. Always. But I thought, honestly, it looked like it kind of, like, honestly, if I was in Michael Whiting's spot, I thought the move was on as well, and then the door closed, and I think he thought he had a bit more brakes than he did.
Too deep, yeah. There wasn't much in it, and to be perfectly honest, I'm not upset with the move. I have no qualms with the move. I think the move was on. I think he tried it. I think it was good, hard and fair racing. It's not the move I have an issue with. It's the rejoin.
Yeah. 100%.
If I'm a racer, I would make that attempt 9 times out of 10. I honest to God would, and it's one of those moves that you'd think, well, it's probably going to come off 3 or 4 times out of 10. It's a very difficult move from where he set it from, but you've got to have a go. You definitely have a go, and I think that was going to be the best opportunity that he got to have a go. So, look, no problems with the move, no problems with the attempt. Race Control did the right thing. Everyone did the right thing in the attempt, except for the rejoin. You take the rejoin out of it, it's racing.
Yeah. But it is hard when you get that rush of blood to the head as well, and you're like, oh man, I was fighting for the, and now I have to like try and rejoin, and then sometimes you don't look at your relative properly, and you just kind of brain fart it, so don't you? So and you kind of just rejoin sometimes. It's a bit like, oh, what am I doing? He'd be kicking himself.
Made a bet with us earlier today, Chef Toddy. He saw me on the broadcast crew, and he said, I bet you anything, Rankin's going to mention IndyCar around here. Well, we've come to an IndyCar circuit. We've had an IndyCar style race. It's been filled with drama. And I want to talk to our podium. Where are they? No, Benjamin. We've got Blake Delaney finally sitting in our green room, so we'll have a couple guys here in a few moments. So we will try and continue that one on. But Corey McFarlane from Said Sim Sports.
I'll just take the moment to go through the grid then. Corey McFarlane in first. We've got Blake Delaney in second. Benjamin Siren in third. So he's had a great race once again. Third, he's first in our Pro-Am, and he's in our Am series. So he's third in overall again tonight. Very, very well done from him. Fourth, Chris Ireland. Greg Barber in fourth. Michael Whiting in sixth. Mitch Campbell in seventh. Harry Dodson in eighth. Nathan Gore in ninth. David Leslie for After Dark Sim Racing with a bit of a mixed round tonight in 10th there, wrapping out our top 10. Dan Sikovic in 11th for Sim Racing World. Mr. Greg Leake for Team Greg. Callan Hodgkinson with a good round. He was up a few positions from his starting round. He had a little bit of a moment later on in the race, but he had a bit of a consistent race the whole way through. So good on him. Daniel Fritz in 14th. Kyle Zink with big, massive moment there. A few massive moments and trying to get it back towards the end, but couldn't clamber it back. In 15th, Steven Sikovic and 16th. And it seems somehow I'm in there even though my iRacing doesn't seem to be working. But apparently I'm part of race control tonight. So we've got Brad Wall, Peter Baxter, and we've got Mr. Chef Toddy in there too.
Moving right along, talking to Benjamin Siren again this week. Last night, you ended up on the podium on the top step due to some unfortunate circumstances. 2 weeks in a row, you are the benefactor of a little bit of biffo. So things working out your way this season, Mr. Siren.
Yeah, look, definitely. Sometimes you do have to get some good luck go your way. And it was good to get some more tonight.
Which is interesting because I think in terms of things, it was last season in the Porsches that I think you seem to be on the receiving end of all of that. So one season goes the other way, the following season goes your way. You can't complain.
No, absolutely not. No, not at the moment, I'm just riding the wave.
Well, the concrete canyon of Detroit Belle Isle. She's tough. She's tricky. She's tough. She's bouncy. Patience on the throttle critical tonight.
Absolutely. Setup's a huge part, especially at one of these tracks. It could definitely be make or break. And this week, I, funnily enough, used the same setup as what I was on last week. And it's working. I've got so much confidence in the car. You can, with these things, it's hard to get confidence at the start because they are a bit of a mongrel. But once you somewhat tame it, you get a bit of ball pump and away you go.
So what do you think? Next week, Road America, 3 weeks running for the setup, 3 podiums in a row?
Oof, it'll be nice. I'll let's see what happens Thursday night. this time next week. Yeah, we'll see. We will see. And
you will find Ben Simon at your local TAB placing a bet on Michael Whiting coming to grief with something.
Yeah, and then a quick backhander to Michael on the way through. No, no, it's all good fun, and as I said, it's always good to get some good luck.
But that's just
Look,
it.
I feel sorry for those guys. It is, as I have been on the receiving end, and the giving end, and it's not a nice feeling either way. So,
You're a
yeah.
race car driver. When you come to Detroit Belle Isle, you kind of expect that for someone in the field, the worst is going to happen, and
Oh, at least the
you just
safety car, yeah.
yeah, and to be perfectly honest, I mean, the move is on. To get the move done, you actually sometimes you do need a little bit of contact at Detroit.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, there's not too much room at the best of times, so you, yeah, you have to test the waters and see who you're racing against, and see if they give a little bit of room too. It's definitely a bit of tit for tat with this track.
Well, mate, let's now talk in terms of championship. With that result, that will all but lock up the champion. I think all you've got to do is just turn one lap next week, and it'll be locked in, signed, sealed, and delivered in terms of the amateur championship. So a celebratory
Awesome.
round from Road America, and what a track to celebrate at.
Cool. Yeah, absolutely. Look, I never count my chickens before they hatch, so we will see.
One,
It is school
two,
holidays, so
three.
something could happen. But yeah, look, we'll see what happens next week.
And
Mate.
just adding to that as well, I think Ben, that actually secures your top 3 in the series if you can hold it together next week. And actually in the whole series overall, which
Cool.
is pretty amazing.
Cool. That's cool. That was
Yeah.
secretly a bit of a goal, was to get on the podium. Once I started getting a bit of a run of good results, so I took
Well,
a lot
this
of,
week you were
belief in
already on the
myself.
podium this week, so you're third, only by not very many points at all. You're only by about 4 points, so
Oof.
you're pretty close to the boys there, mate. So
Yep.
you've got a good chance to maybe if you get another higher podium next week, you might be able to get
Yeah.
yourself another spot up again.
Climb another ladder rung. Yeah. We'll see. We will see. But yeah, at the moment it's all good fun. It's all coming together.
Righto, mate. The opportunity now for you to say a big shout out to the sponsors that make it all possible for you, and head into next week with a fair bit of confidence, mate. So thank you for everything that you've done tonight. Thank you for the racing, and go right ahead.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you very much for you guys and the SRW crew that put this on every week. It's sensational racing. I'm absolutely having a ball. To my teammates, of course, as well. And a bit of an up and down night for those guys, but we'll bounce back for Road America again and go again next week. I'd like to thank Racecraft Simulations, RSW Graphics, Racing Ears, Custom Ear Protection, and Cutting Edge Tracks. We'll see you all next week.
Well, he says thank you to Cutting Edge Tracks. He is the cutting edge tyre tracks of our amateur championship. Benjamin Siren, congratulations, mate, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you very much. See you guys.
Next up, it'll be to talk to Blake Delaney. And, well, as he moves in here, I think when you have a look at that round, Blake, the way that you drove tonight to me says, A, I might have been fractionally off the pace. I had some qualifying pace, but I think you expected to be finishing P2 at the end of the race, but you're very happy with that given Greg Barber finished 5th.
Yeah, Corey's way too fast, mate. And every time he rolls into the server, we all just do a little bit of a sigh and go, okay, well, that's it. But I would have,
then.
I just said to Corey then, I would have happily taken the drawn up stumps at the end of qualifying because you don't always get one over him. But yeah, no, he's way too quick in the race. If I pushed every lap, I could do a 30.5, but it's not worth it. You just hit a wall.
Well, that's just it. Talk to us about the concrete canyon of Detroit. Cars like these, they don't like bumps, they don't like curbs, and, well, there's a lot of walls pointing out at you from odd places too.
It's definitely not my favourite track, but I enjoy the Porsche around here. It's actually a bit of fun. I didn't realise it'd be that much fun around here. The supercar we ran the other night around here, and it was just a bit of a slog. But this is 40 laps was a bit long. We probably could have done 2 races. That would have been a bit of fun. But no, it's tough around here. The concrete walls are very close. You got to get close to them to be quick, and it's really not worth pushing that much in the race. But having said that, though, if we were pushing and doing the times that I mentioned before, Corey still would have beaten us by a long way.
Talk to us a little bit. So obviously, a lot of the conversation tonight would have stemmed around the drama that did happen last week. I think it's critical, actually, not just to obviously deal with that, but to move forward from it. And you've come out on the right foot, and you've done the right things, and you still had Mikey sitting behind you for the bulk of the race, running the wheel tracks, running as the defender, and it worked to you guys' standards. How did you pick yourself up from last week? What was the team conversation about? Was there any rules that were put in place?
Nah, not at all. We last week we got to the last lap and said, "Rightio, it's on, let's go," and it doesn't matter what happens. Obviously, a term rule is don't hit each other, but we run for fun and have a good time doing so. We push hard, obviously, and try and win races and be as fast as possible. But there's no animosity whatsoever. Mike and the boys at Fishy Motorsport were all really good friends. All support each other, all look after each other, and it's an awesome team culture. So there'll never ever be a drama with it. We both couldn't figure out who was at fault, to be brutally honest. He swerved left, and I probably didn't expect it. I was watching Greg in the mirror, and then it all happened, and that was it. But yeah, no issues whatsoever. It was just we were way too slow for Corey around here. We knew we had the pace to be second and third. Just I think Mike had a mishap under brakes underneath Chris Island, I think, and
that's racing. Yeah, that's like we said. It's exactly what we said about it as well. Was that's racing. If you don't go for the move there, you're never going to get another opportunity. So you got to have a crack. So
yeah, that's right. I think the good part about a lot of the drivers, certainly in SRW, is they have a lot of respect for others. You hit each other, and you hit someone, or you get hit. No one ever really gets upset. Everyone knows that no one is in it with a bit of malice. It's just accidents happen, and that's why they're called accidents.
They're tough to drive at the absolute peak of their limit, and I think you guys showed that tonight, and you showed it last week as well. And when you're fighting within so close margins in the same bit of machinery, there's nothing in it, and it does happen. He missed a marker by what would have probably been 10, 20, 30 centimeters, and that's what caused an accident, and that's what caused the accident for you guys last week as well.
Oh, absolutely. And look, for people that watch the racing, I mean, everyone would not be mistaken to be thinking it's an easy thing to do, and it's not like the real thing or anything like that.
Absolutely not these cars.
Everything about it moves and behaves like the real thing. The tracks are all laser scan, the cars are laser scan. It's like the real thing, except for the inertia.
And I mean, they are the thing that a lot of people can't get down, and I think Kyle Zink will tell a very good story tonight, is they just break loose sometimes at some odd moments and cold tires. It's all about management. It's all about getting down there. And I think we did see the flashback of the move that Corey McFarlane put on you on the run down and into to number 3 on the first lap. He just went, yeah, no, that's not worth it. I don't want to fight that. No, thank you. No cold tires.
No, the guy can brake late, and you would have seen the Send It Sim Sports guys. They had some good brakes. Mike had a bit of trouble getting with Chris into turn 3, I think it was, because Chris was just able to brake a lot later, and Corey, you saw at the start there, was just way too early. I mean, I could have covered the line for sure, but I mean, he won by 20 seconds and probably was doing it easy for most of the race. So there's no point in trying. He's just going to get me at another corner. So best to save the car and make sure we finish in front of Greg, as you said.
All right, mate. Well, the show now turns on to the ultimate round. We've had the penultimate round here tonight. The ultimate round next week from Road America. The points margin will grow, be it only marginally, the difference being 3 spots in the running order. You're second to Greg Barber's 5th, but it was only 1 point when we came into tonight's race. So eyes up next week. Is it just keep an eye on where Greg is and just make sure we're not in it?
Yeah. Look, where are we next week?
Road America.
Oh, good track. Good track.
Great track.
Yeah, good track for a finale.
More importantly,
the worry is the teammate beating me. We can't have that happen, so we need to stay in front of him.
And final question. This one comes your way courtesy of Peter Morris on Monday nights. Where the bloody hell are you?
Pete Morris, what, in the trucks?
Yeah, in the trucks, mate. He's been having...
I'm not allowed to run the trucks against Pete Morris. He's too fast. It's bad for my ego.
Well, look, they have these rounds called super speedways. You get in behind and you push him.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's right. He'd be probably doing most of the pushing, mate, because he's pretty quick in those things these days. Done a lot of practice in the old trucks, old Pete.
Well, that's good. It's good. Good to see you back on the podium here again, Blake, and we'll see you again next week out, mate. Your opportunity to thank all the sponsors, the people who make it possible for you.
Yeah, no worries. So thanks very much, obviously, to the Fishy Boys and Mike for another race without contact. So it's a lot of fun when it doesn't happen. It's tit for tat though. We have a bit of fun with it. But thanks to the Fishy Boys, we have West End Motor Group as a proud and prominent sponsor. They have Parramatta Peugeot Professional, Parramatta City Great Wall, West End Mazda Parramatta, Parramatta Isuzu Ute, Relax Marine and Game Fishing, DC Shades, Black Wolf Graphics, and the man that puts all the setups together. And if anyone is keen for a setup or some training, get along to Precision Sim Training and ask for Josh Thomas. He will definitely help you out. Big shout out to the old man who'll be watching and the great man, Mr. Davies, and his daughter Grace. And I really appreciate it, guys. So thanks very much.
Absolute pleasure to have Blake Delaney back at the podium, your current series leader. And can he hang on to it next week at Road America? That's the big question. We'll talk to him hopefully again next week. Finally, talking on to the man of the minute, the hour, the second, Corey McFarlane. Lap 1 to lap 40. Looked pretty clean there, Mr. McFarlane. That was an absolute show on wheels you put on tonight.
Yeah, thank you.
Mate, it was just about getting the car off the line nice and cleanly and then finding the time to get the move done. It happened at turn 3. Didn't have to wait very long. Lined it up perfectly, sent it down the inside, and then eyes forward. It's never easy at Detroit Belle Isle, but you certainly made it look that way.
Yeah, the race definitely. No race is easy around Belle Isle. It's I reckon probably the hardest track for racing on. Not many passing opportunities either. So as soon as I had a half decent run on the first lap, I thought I'd just send it and hope that I can pull it up. And then just knew I had good race pace because did the quali times on the race setup. So I was just trying to fine tune that, and I was pretty comfortable on that in the end. So worked out well.
The pit strategy was a little bit awkward. You had us thinking was it only a one pit stop race, but you came down the instant that fuel window opened for you as well tonight. Obviously a premeditated decision. You thought, yep, I'm coming early. I want to get this pit stop out of the way, and I want to make sure I'm set up and ready to go to the end.
Not really. I just sort of rocked up, not having anything planned. So it was just after I sort of bowled it wide and into the guard, and steering was a bit mungled. I sort of thought I'll just ask Chris, see how early I could come in, and so thank you to him. Otherwise, I probably would have pitted too early and run out of fuel.
Far out. So there you go. There was contact to that car that we did actually miss. We could have a few faux curb strike or wall strikes, later on in the race, but that was something that we completely and utterly missed. Talk to us about the nature of the circuit. It's all about patience on the throttle. It's all about smoothness on the brake. It's all about just waiting for the damn thing to stop bouncing.
It's definitely one of those tracks where it's it's a bit of hit and miss every lap. But the car was just mint. It was didn't bounce much at all. Probably looked like it was bouncing, but it was really stable under brakes and bit touching over curbs. But it was easy to just sort of get on the throttle and trust it. Could have definitely been more to the oversteery side though, because when the fuel came out, it was a bit of an understeery shitbox.
Well, mate, another show up, another win. Nice and easy in terms of the racing. We turn our eyes to Road America next week. You're going to be able to be with us next week for what is going to be a fantastic finale.
Probably. I don't think I have much on. So if I'm here, I'm here. If I'm not, I'll.
Righto, mate. Well, congratulations on another win so far this season. Your opportunities to thank your sponsors to make the drive in the Porsche GT3 Cup a reality.
Thanks to everyone at Send It Sim Sports. Great team. Love everyone there. Big thanks to Nathan and Chris tonight. Racing with them, just having a chat. Always good fun. Big thanks to PPS as well. Good setups. Who else is there? Sorry. Hobbs Trench and Boring, AJ Insurance, and you guys for putting on the league and also the broadcast. So thank you, everyone.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Corey McFarlane, your tonight's winner from Detroit Belle Isle. Well, Toddy, we talked about it at the start of the race. We talked about it during qualifying. We talked about it, well, basically all night long. Bounce, bounce, wall crash, bounce, bounce, throttle, spin, bounce, wall, bounce. That's about the night.
Yeah, but we thought we'd have some safety cars in between the bounce, wall crash, then safety car. We didn't see any of that. And I thought one of those cars that would have brought them out would have been the Porsche GT3 Cups, but it seems that they can handle the bumps and the curb riding a little bit better around to get some of the better racing lines around here. So it was great to see these guys out tonight. Very exciting penultimate round, mate. Thank you very much. So thank you very, very much, everybody out there, for joining us tonight for SOW TV's coverage for round 9 of the Porsche GT3 Cup at Detroit Belle Isle, our penultimate round, brought to you by our sponsors, DSL Welding Services, DragonRC, and the Promo Department for all your support. Thank you very much. And to our illustrious head producer, Nathan Shibby, thank you very much for your cams and awesomeness tonight. And of course, all of you at home, thank you so much again for joining us. Much love, legends. Keep safe. Signing off for myself, Chef Toddy, and Scotty Rattlegun Rankin.
That's stuck. I don't know what I've done. Thanks, Toddy. Yeah, it's been an absolute pleasure, ladies and gentlemen. See you next week for the season decider from Road America.
Love you guys.